Yo, what's up guys, say Chronicles here with a video on Kontana update and where to get certain resources or maybe some things that you missed or just get a lot of gold and all of that kind of good stuff. So there's a few places with the Kontana update which are very valuable that I definitely recommend you to do. And these are 5 of them, pretty much my top 5 of them that I would say definitely check out on doing this. Some are more obvious, some are slightly less obvious. Guys, short reminder, if you haven't yet, like this video, subscribe to the channel. I'm sitting at a 43 mil cash stack. Is it all free to play? No, but is it a lot of free to play cash? Yes, it is. And those are all from those tips in this video. So if you haven't yet, like this video and subscribe to the channel. Enjoy the video. Before we get into the video, I would like to talk about the sponsor of today's video, which is the Huawei app. If you're planning to buy packs within Chronicles, I recommend you to buy them cheaper, and Huawei AppGallery can help you with that. How does that work out? First, you would have to download the Huawei AppGallery, first link in the description, download the HMS core, and then also create an account. Once we have that all set up, we can search for Summoners War Chronicles, and we can see over here that we can install the game. Once the game is installed, we can also see that we have the campaign over here, which is the current running campaign where you can get your coupons for discounts. As you can see right here, there's a bunch of coupons that you can claim very easily. You hit the claim button, you get those. You can use those coupons to get a certain amount of discount. Also, I highly recommend to join their Discord, which is linked all the way at the bottom, but also in the description down below. If you want to keep track of all of their discount, all of their coupons, all of their other activities that they're doing. Also, if there's any problems with your purchase, there's very friendly people there in their Discord to help you out with any of those problems. And therefore, it makes it very easy for you to get discounts on your packs in Summoners War Chronicles. Once we have those coupons claimed, we can easily go into the game, use the coupons, and have a discount on our next packs. Once we're in the game, we can very simply go to a certain pack that we would like to buy. For example, this one. We can hit the confirm button, and we go to the Huawei purchase window. In here on the bottom left, which I'm kind of sitting in front of, you can see which kind of coupon you're using. So always select the best coupon that you have available. And then you can select your preferred way of paying. Afterwards, this screen simply takes you back to the game and you successfully purchased the pack with a discount using the Huawei AppGallery. So once again, I would like to thank Huawei AppGallery for sponsoring this video. And let's get on to the video. So let's start off with the first one, which I think is somewhat obvious. You want to go over here, you want to do your area dungeons. They added extra area dungeons, and these area dungeons give you Devilmon and a whole bunch of crystals. You see that I have a lot of crystals. A lot of these crystals actually came from here. Okay, if you are maybe pay to win, but a lot of these crystals came from here, and it's actually pretty chill that they up your rune slots as well, because that is actually helping for one of the next things as well. You do have to do these dungeons manually. So you have to manual them 3 times for all of them, times 6. That's a lot of manual dungeons. It will take a while, but keep in mind, it is not a sprint. You don't have to finish it today or yesterday. You can finish this in a week or a little bit later. But as you can see, it is 6 times a Devilmon. It's a whole bunch of crystals. It's upping those rune capacities, which are very useful. So definitely do those. I highly recommend you to do those on your main character, so the main summoner that you're leveling, because they are not shared, so it's once per account. And yeah, if you want to do this on the other characters, it's just slightly more annoying. Some of these stages actually increase in difficulty. I think it was the one where you had the trial, I think the Cloud Crystal. At some point you first had to do like the whack-a-mole with like 8 hits, and then you have to do whack-a-mole with like 12 and 15 hits and that kind of stuff. But most of them kind of stay in the same level, and just go through them, do them one by one. It will take you a decent amount of time to manual all of them, but you will get there, and trust me, it's really worth the rewards. Then the second one is also kind of straightforward, and the other ones are not going to be that straightforward maybe. So, but this one is going to be pretty straightforward, and this one's going to be pretty obvious. You want to finish your quest line on all of the characters, because you get 5 L&D scrolls, you get 10 scrolls, you get a whole bunch of good stuff, including a lot of gold, and you also get these. So these spell books actually will help you out getting your master quest done, which is pretty useful. So definitely do those on all of your side characters as well. Plus, do all of these quests on your side characters, because there's a bunch of good ones. If I'm not mistaken, this one is pretty good. You can use this to craft one of the outfits that you only can craft this once a week from the master quest, and this is mainly used towards those outfits, and afterwards you can sell them for gold. But definitely first use them for the outfits. And this one is very nice as well for re-ups. I haven't re-upped for a while because I'm still waiting on March gear, which we're apparently getting this Thursday finally. If you haven't finished those yet, those are also pretty useful, which is also something that you can translate into some extra stats with symbols. And yeah, there's just a whole bunch of good stuff. These runes are really not that useful, but definitely something you do want to do on all of these side characters as well, because it just kind of adds up. It will take you a little bit of time, but once again, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Just keep it slowly and do all of those. So then number 3, one that is somewhat less straightforward, but maybe something that's people kind of overlooked, but that is events. And with these events, the events currently changed and they are made a lot more chill. So currently you don't have to be there right on the time that it starts. Well, okay, for the world bosses, you have to be there right on the time it starts. But for the others, you can actually do that like half an hour from the time. And I actually missed this one, but these are pretty useful because you can actually get crafting materials which are very useful towards Master Quest or just upgrading your account. Another very important factor is you have at certain days that you also can get the flame hearts. And the flame hearts are the most important towards your fire spell books or the attack spell books, whatever they're called. And those can actually help you for the Master Quest as well. The one that I would say is most interesting for certain currencies is the one where you have the fishing. Currently there's no one that gives fishing. But you have certain events which you just do and you get the participation event for example, the fishing. You can do the fishing and you get straight up 30 calm krills. If you are not familiar with calm krills yet because you haven't done the Master Quest yet, if you go for the Master Quest, there's a certain item that is called calm krill. And you can only get those from fishing events. You can also get them in the guild pond right now, but mainly you get them from the fishing event. These things you get 30 from just participating. You have to fish like legitimately like 2 or 3 fishes. You get 30 for those just being there. You can do that multiple times a day. But 30 of those literally translate, if I were to, let's see if I actually have enough to craft all of that. Probably only need 2. If we craft that, yes sir, we craft all of those. We're getting 8 right now. 8, we get +1. That is pretty nice. If we go to the exchange shop, and I currently have 1 spot, so if I go for calm krills, I already finished the Master Quest. I only recommend you to do this if you actually finish the Master Quest. But you can sell those 9 for 45k Rahil. And this will insta-sell, 100% guaranteed. Like, if there was no limit on it, it would sell for a lot higher price. But Rahil, if you use it smart, if you use that Rahil to sell certain stuff, you can actually, rather than buying a full item, I actually have listed for buying most of these bars and that kind of stuff. This actually, me buying this 7 right now, saves me an insane amount of gold because that's 140. So let's see, so I paid this for 7 times 7 pretty much. So let's see if I would like to craft. I'm not sure even if I have the material to do that right now. If we go for processing these, can I craft 140? I don't even have enough space to craft 140, and it's already costing me this much. It is legit giving me a lot of gold saving to buy certain things and then trade that in for something, some of those materials. So this legitimately, what I just did, saved me 700k for just buying those. And I also saved that I didn't have to get the titanium material myself. But 700k gold right there. That's a lot of freaking gold you don't want to mess out on. And that is pretty much exactly what I will sell the calm krills for. And that's just from one event. So that's insane. You definitely don't want to miss out on those. So then 2 more. We already got some really good stuff, but we got 2 more. First one is lizard. We have the lizard right now, and the lizard you can send for Kontana material. But you might be like, okay, Kontana material sounds cool and all, but what can I actually do with it? Because it doesn't really necessarily translate to a specific craft, yet you're actually going to use it for 6-3 gear. I think you need like the Aurealcum and the Amber for 6-3 gear. But there's a few things that are already there. And if we go to profession, you might have noticed in processing that there is a second row for lumber, there's a second row for strings, and there's a second row for also the handwork and also crafting tools. What does that second row mean? Well, if we click on this, for example, we can see that we need 2 different materials rather than the materials in here. If you look at it specifically, this is a 3 plus a 5. This is a, if this stupid thing can go away, a 2 plus a 2. The price is still the same towards gold, but if you send the lizard out to get the materials for getting these, or if you're mining it by yourself, you have to get a lot less materials crafting these than these. So definitely check out what kind of material you need for crafting those things. In this case, you need the sticks. In this case, you need the Mandragora thingy. But you also have them for these, and these are actually a lot cheaper because here we have 3 and then 1. Here we have 1 and then 1. But we can also use this one to get this one rather than this one. So actually that makes these magic tools already get a lot cheaper than you used to. So that's definitely something you want to check out on. Same for this one. This is a 3-2-3 and this is a 3-2-3. So that also saves you 1 bar with rather doing Orichalcum rather than Emerald. And then once again for these, you can choose, okay, I can use this one rather than this one because this is a 1-3 and this is a 1-1. So with all of those, you can actually start adding in quite some gold saving by not having to get those materials. Now, technically, the craft itself, the price is the same. But instead of getting 3 times a pickaxe, like depleted towards like mining stuff, for this one you only have 1. Or you only send the lizard out once, so you get the materials a lot faster and you use less resources to get those materials in the first place because you only have to use less. So that's definitely something you don't want to miss out on as well. That was number 4, and now we have number 5. And Mambo number 5 is killing monsters. And that is something you can actually do very AFK. Of course, in Kontana, you have a whole bunch of monsters and they give a whole bunch of good stuff. Let's see one that I didn't clear yet. This one, the 500, is very nice. We have this one, the 200, the 100, but you also get for all of these units, you get a whole bunch of that kind of stuff. So there is a whole bunch of good stuff that you can clear with this. So what do you want AFK auto farm on this kind of stuff? Well, there's actually a few bosses. Like this one, for example, I cleared a few times. This one I cleared a bunch of times. This one I didn't clear as many times. Some of them are easier to farm than others. This one is relatively easy to farm. This one was slightly harder to farm. This one as well. And then this one was, I think, easy. This one I haven't really tried yet. And this one was somewhat harder as well. But the one I've personally been farming most is either this one or this one. So if we go to this one, which is over there, it's actually pretty close to shop as well, which is somewhat convenient. But the moment you do this, what do you specifically get? Because I already got the rewards, right? So you don't really have to do it for the rewards. Well, the thing is, let me actually clear one of those bosses. We actually see that these spots are getting more and more active. So you always kind of want to change channel to a channel that's not that full and hope that there's no one there. It's pretty often that if there's even 3 people in there, there's someone over here. In this case, it is not the case. Wait, where's that boss at? The boss kind of likes to move around. But if we clear those bosses, what do we get from those bosses if we AFK over here? So let's clear this boss. That takes a little bit of time. The team you want to use, I really like to use a team like this. Okay, in this case it didn't drop it, but it should be dropping runes. So let's clear it again. The thing mostly respawns in just a second. So the respawn of these things are pretty freaking fast. If we clear this time, give me a rune, baby. So it drops a rune. And then you might be, it's like, okay, can I get my 6-star runes here? No, those are 5-star runes. But there's 2 things that you can do with 5-star runes. And the first thing is, you're probably going to need a lot of these, where are they at? Rune shards. I have quite a bunch. I don't really need that many more than I have right now. But I would aim for a good stack of having at least like 30 to 40k always with you in case you start like, okay, I want to do some rune upping and that kind of stuff. 30 to 40k is a nice amount. But afterwards, at some point, you're going to store a lot of runes. Like, as you can see over here, I have been farming this kind of stuff for quite a while. Because every tab is a lot of those 5-star. You also get the 6-stars blues, but 6 stars blue, fuck that. But if you don't disassemble them, what do you do with it? Well, there's something else you can do with it. And that something else is you can sell those runes. And if we sell a stack of 60 runes, we actually get 30 gold. And if we sell one, it's 500. It doesn't sound like much, but if you AFK overnight, trust me, you will have more than 500 runes in your inventory. So you always kind of have to clean your inventory slots as well, because otherwise you cannot stack them. You also have to be careful, because I know that all the way at the bottom, there are some runes I don't want to sell, but as you can see, the list goes kind of far on. Most of the time, you actually want to select it on just these. That makes it a lot easier to not make the mistake in selling anything wrong, because you don't really want to sell anything wrong, of course. But yeah, here you can see I could lock them then and make sure I don't sell them, but I actually don't have them locked because I want to use them for rune succession later. So I would have to lock them, unlock them, blah, blah, that kind of stuff. So for me, I just kind of know that somewhere in the next range, this is where they kind of start getting close. But as you can see here, I'm already getting a good amount of gold. Like, I'm getting a legit amount of gold. And this is all AFKing work. So definitely if you're AFKing somewhere, yeah. So definitely if you're AFKing somewhere, somewhat or something, This is one of those spots, and doesn't have to be necessarily this boss, because if I tell everyone to go this boss is going to be very busy. But check out any of the bosses. You're gonna have to do all of them anyways for the rewards. And then check and kind of feel like, okay, which one am I clearing fast? Which one was chill to clear for me? Which one can I clear multiple times? Which one do I want to AFK at? Where the main character doesn't start wandering off. Like sometimes you clear the boss somewhere and then the main character starts walking somewhere all the way over there. You don't want that, but since here the spawn is somewhat kind of narrow, this one is pretty chill. I do know that there's a few more that kind of similar like this. So definitely check out which one you want to farm on those. And that is something you definitely do want to do, because this is just a lot of gold income and you can do this AFK. So since we don't have leaf spamming that much anymore for Rupture and that kind of stuff, this is definitely a thing you want to do. Okay, one more tip. I only said I have the top 5, but I give you an honorable mention, which is Rupture as well. So Rupture, before we were always doing Rupture once, and then we did Rupture a bunch more times, and therefore we did leaf spam, and with the leaf spam you still get a good amount of stuff. Currently, you only get that once, and then the second one is already quite a bit worse. Like second and third are maybe good, and then it starts kind of getting lower and lower. You can do all of them, but fun fact, pro tip, you don't have to do level 4. If I do level 1, I get the exact same participation reward. Exactly the same. So the first one, of course, you want to do your level 4, but afterwards, just do level 1s. It's so much easier. Like legit, you one-shot everything. 100%. Like even if you're 2-3 days in the game, you one-shot everything. Sure, the run isn't really that much faster because you're waiting on like the time of what's it called, like the monster to spawn and blah blah blah, that kind of stuff. But you don't need a team. You can auto this one solo, so that part makes it a lot easier. Also, if you're somewhat earlier in the game, it makes it a lot easier. So yeah, those are 5 tips to get extra gold. If you haven't yet, please like this video and subscribe to the channel if you like those tips, and hope to see you in the next one.